It's Black Friday and you are probably trying to get an awesome electric bike at an incredible price. Well, I'm here to help you with that. I'm going to walk through the top deals from the best brands, but I'm going to talk through some of the best deals from each brand where you're getting the most bang for your buck. I'm Ryan from eBike Escape. I've been reviewing electric bikes for 5.5 years. I've been riding electric bikes for 7 years, and I am very familiar with all the brands that I'm going to talk about today. Quick favor, if you're planning to purchase an electric bike anyway, why not use our affiliate link before you buy? It's free and makes videos like this one possible. Thank you so much for your support. Check out the description for that. And also, Black Friday deals are kind of a moving target, so the most up-to-date information will be in a blog post, also linked down in the description, and we'll also include some of our thoughts down there as deals continue to be released. Though you should also know that some brands just launch their Black Friday deals for, say, the entire month of November. They're not going to change, so you might as well buy now. I'll kind of highlight those as we go through. And once you get to our website, it will be immediately obvious where our Black Friday deals are. Just click the banner. The first brand we're going to talk about is Urtopia. They actually wanted to sponsor this video. We've been reviewing all of their models and we've been super happy with them. And also they bring something to the e-bike industry that basically no other brand has done, and that is carbon fiber electric bikes. What does that mean? Well, they're lighter weight, which means easier to handle, easier to lift onto a bike rack. That alone makes them a compelling option. So let's dive into their Black Friday sale. So their carbon classic bikes weigh just 38 pounds. Those models are currently $2,000. They just released the Carbon Joy Ultra, which is more of their utility e-bike, at 42 pounds. Now, that's not incredibly lightweight, but lighter than it otherwise would if it was made out of aluminum. They also have their Carbon Fold 1 at $1,600. That one weighs just 29 pounds, so it's super easy to carry around, lift up into an apartment, throw in your trunk. My personal picks, though, would have to be the Carbon Fusion Pro. You can get a dual battery on that bike if you want to, and yes, of course, it's lightweight. Or if you're on the shorter end, you might want to consider the Urtopia Joy. It's a great 20-inch wheel bike. So definitely check out Urtopia if you're looking for something a little bit lighter weight, something different on the market. They are certainly a brand that we're keeping a close eye on. Thanks Urtopia for making this video possible. Next, let's talk Lectric, who, if you don't already know, is a juggernaut in the e-bike industry. No one sells more electric bikes than they do. And remember, if you're wanting to learn more about any of these models, we have full in-depth reviews on all of them on our channel. Now, Lectric is a direct-to-consumer brand. That means their bikes are going to get shipped to you and you will have to be in charge of assembly unless you take it to a bike shop. Don't worry though, they have assembly videos and it's pretty easy if you're just a little bit handy. The other thing to keep in mind with Lectric is a lot of these models have two different tiers. For example, the XP4 500 and the XP4 750. Of course, the 750 is going to cost you a little bit more, but as it's been previously, you just get more extras with the 750, and that seems even more so with their Black Friday deals. And if you've been shopping on Lectric's website before, you know they always kind of include some accessories. They kind of rotate through which ones they're including. So what I'm going to try to do here is highlight some of the accessories that you don't often see included, because that's kind of what makes the Black Friday deals unique. So let's start with the XP4. The XP folding bike has been the most popular e-bike just on the market generally in the United States. The XP4 is the latest generation though, and it is so much better. So jumping down to the standard battery just quickly here, you can see that you're not getting a whole lot of accessories. The suspension C-post, it's okay, and a bike lock. They have included these kind of before. The Elite headlight I actually think is pretty good, and then the level up rack pretty much always comes with this bike. They kind of show it there to kind of show that it comes with a lot of things. But if you go with the 750, which I highly recommend you do, more power, but also a significantly larger battery. I think a lot of people buy it maybe even solely for the battery because the motor power on the 500 watt is still pretty impressive. So the thing I want to highlight here is they're actually including the fast charger, which is a $150 accessory separately. What does that mean? Well, it's going to charge up your bike in 3.5 hours because it's a 5 amp charger. That's compared to their 2 amp charger, which would take, let's see, between 8 and 9 hours to charge it up with the standard charger. And trust me, as someone who rides electric e-bikes quite a bit, it is really nice to be able to just plug your bike in for an hour and get a decent amount of battery. Let's talk briefly about the Lectric one. It has been discounted pretty significantly. There's not a whole lot of accessories included, but if you're looking for a pinion, gearbox, belt drive electric bike, just watch our review if that entices you at all. I'm not aware of a new model coming. I think they just have too many of these. So if you're looking for a super nimble, city-oriented e-bike, it's so fun to ride. I love it. Moving to the XP trikes, I don't know if they've always included the cargo package, but you get a slew of accessories if you go with the upgraded motor and battery. That's the one with the torque sensor or the cadence sensor. You can switch between them. Going with the standard battery, yes, you just get less accessories. Let's talk about the Lectric Expedition, the electric that we ride the most because we have kids. It's a cargo electric bike. We also grocery shop with it quite a bit. And what I really like here is even with the dual battery, that's kind of the mid-tier, if you will, they're including a ton of accessories. And trust me, there are other cargo e-bike brands that will charge an arm and a leg for some of these accessories. So keep that in mind if you're shopping around. So for $17.99, you're getting the 2 cushions, running boards, elite headlight. That's not a big deal. Same with the suspension seat post, but the kicker is the orbiter with the extra cushion. That's actually a backrest. And then the XL cargo pannier bags. Those are awesome. They hold tons of groceries. My wife uses them all the time. They even clip to the cart, which is a cool hack, if you will. And then if you go with the dual long range battery, what you're getting in addition to that is the fast charger. We already talked about that. So if you don't need insane amount of battery, just go with the dual battery. But if you want the dual 17.5 amp hour batteries, you can get that. The price does shoot up to $2,000. Great deal here if you're shopping for a cargo electric bike. Jumping over to the XP, similar to the XP4, if you jump to the long range battery version, you do get that fast charger. Otherwise, they just include a few accessories, but hey, I'll take it, especially for a fat tire electric bike. That is $1,700 or $1,500 if you go with the standard battery. Now on the Express, their $999 model, you don't get any accessories. But with the upgraded motor and battery, which I think is kind of a no-brainer, especially with all the accessories they throw in, rear rack fenders, but also the waterproof pannier bags. That's a nice upgrade there. Now moving to their most affordable model, the XP Lite 2. Not a huge difference here, though. If you buy the base model, some of their accessories might be on sale. I also saw that they had 25% off batteries, so check that out if you already own electric. And then similarly, if you upgrade to the long range, and then you can get it in a belt drive if you want to. It comes with a few more accessories. Nothing groundbreaking here, I don't think, but again, it is their most affordable model, so what can you really ask for? And Lectric is one of those brands, just so you know, that they just launched their Black Friday deals for the month. That's what it is. I don't think it's gonna get better on Black Friday, so you might as well buy now. And my top pick for Lectric has to be the one you're just not gonna find an electric bike with those components at that price, just anywhere, period, full stop. And then also the Expedition, which I think is also just an incredible deal. Quick break to talk about accessories just briefly. We have our own high quality e-bike accessory store at shop.ebikeescape.com. Join our email list and you can get 10% off. I'll also throw the code down in the description, but I also want to talk about Senna helmets. They have a buy one, get one sale going, and it is awesome because their equipment is quite expensive. So be sure to check that one out. Again, it will be linked below as well. Senna helmets are great because if you ride in groups or just with one other person, you can talk to each other. It makes rides safer and more enjoyable. I've never talked to anyone that regrets getting them because they are a game changer accessory. Let's talk about Aventon. A lot of their models are $200 off, which is great. But also, if you happen to live near a Aventon dealership, this might be a good brand for you. They have 1,800 plus dealers across the United States. I'm guessing they will match the price, though I have no experience myself. And hey, if you do decide to buy in store, shoot me an email with your receipt, Ryan@ebikeescape.com. we can still get credit and it really helps us out. So their lineup has been really refreshed very recently. We actually did a video talking about every Aventon electric bike because we thought it was a good time. And so with a lot of these bikes, you're getting a lot of the same smart features, which is also something that's unique to Aventon, besides the fact that they have a huge dealer network. The Adventure, of course, has been a staple in their lineup, and I think at $1,800, when you consider all the smart functionality within it, is a great deal. And if you're more on the commuter side, you can get the Level 3, $1,700. Again, same feature set, just more city oriented. If you want something a little bit lighter, you can go with the Pace 4. That comes in at $1,600. Their Sotera 2.5, that's their really lightweight electric bike, comes in at $1,000. That is a great deal, though note that it doesn't have a lot of the smart features as some of the newer models. That bike has also been out about a year. Then we have the Rambless, their hardtail electric mountain bike with a super powerful mid-drive motor at $2,500. You're not going to find a lot of electric mountain bikes that are true electric mountain bikes around that price unless you find some crazy sale that a company is kind of clearing out a few of their models. And I think that deal is kind of evidenced by the price of the Adventure M, which sports a lot of the same components from a drivetrain perspective. Also has the mid-drive motor, but that bike came out more recently and is $2,799, so that one not significantly discounted, so the Rambless is going to be the better pick there. Let's talk briefly about the Abound, the SR, the short rack, or the LR long rack. So the LR is going to be your full-on cargo e-bike. The SR is going to be more of your utility e-bike. So think one kid, a little bit of cargo with the SR, two kids, more cargo with the LR, and these prices are also really great. $1,700 for the Abound SR. I can't think of a better utility e-bike at that price that I'd personally rather have. And then of course, say you're not sure if you can get away with the SR, just bump up to the LR. It's only $100 more, though keep in mind that all of those accessories are going to add up pretty quickly with the LR. So those are the most interesting deals I think from Aventon. My top pick here I think has to be the Abound SR. For $1,700 for a utility e-bike, it's super versatile. There's a lot of use cases. If you don't know what you kind of want in an electric bike, then buy a utility e-bike because it can do a lot of things very well. By the way, they also are giving away a free e-bike, so you might want to enter to win. All you need to do is enter your email address. Moving on to another one of my favorite brands, Velotric. They have really surprised me, especially in more recent years with everything they're building into their electric bikes and the vast lineup that they've now created. We have a special Black Friday coupon code that you can use as well there. With Velotric, they're currently including some accessories with their purchase. So let me talk about what I think is most interesting. On the Velotric Discover 2, they are including their suspension seat post, which is actually a decent suspension seat post in my opinion. They value that at about $120. I think that's totally fair if you were to go buy something aftermarket. The one we sell is $140. And we recently did a comparison with the Discover 2 to the Breeze 1, which is another one of my favorite electric bikes in their lineup because of its lighter weight, relatively lighter weight. I wouldn't call it a super lightweight e-bike, but it's lighter than most. And even though it is lighter, it still packs plenty of power for most people. And what they're including with their Breeze 1, which is usually a stripped down electric bike, they're including the rear rack and fender. So if you need the extra utility, maybe you were considering the Discover 2, but that entices you to save a little bit and get the Breeze 1, that could be a great option. Moving to some of their other deals, the Velotric Summit 1 is kind of interesting. It's not as mountain bike as the Rambless, though it is capable off-road. And I see the Velotric Nomad 2X here, but I would really keep an eye out to see if they discount the Nomad 2, not the 2X. That is one of my favorite fat tire electric bikes because it's a cruiser electric bike. It's one of my favorite ones that I reviewed this year. So maybe stay tuned to see if they make any changes there. As it currently stands though, I think my pick has to be the Velotric Breeze 1. I think people undervalue a lightweight electric bike, especially if they're new to electric bikes. So I think that is a great starting point. Comes in a ton of fun colors and is overall a great electric bike. Velotric also has dealers across the United States. Maybe you can find one near you. remember to use our discount code because yes, I just tested it out and you do get an additional $60 off. Remember, that is case sensitive. So it's Escape BFCM. Let's talk about Euphree. They're one of my favorite brands because they just include a lot of accessories that you don't often see as it relates to comfort. That includes high quality suspension seat posts just all the time, not just on Black Friday. Things like swept-back handlebars, adjustable stems, that all comes standard. So they have 3 models. They have the City Robin, that's more of their city cruiser oriented electric bike. Then they have the Stellar Falcon, that's more of their off-road electric bike. And then they have their more recently announced electric bike, the Solar Sparrow. That's their simple, more affordable electric bike that also is just relatively a little bit lighter than some other models. So what Euphree has done is $250 off MSRP on the City Robin and the Stellar Falcon, and then $150 off on the Solar Sparrow. Now on the Solar Sparrow, you also get some free accessories. You get a battery bag, which is nice and of high quality. You also get a rack bag, as well as a stem bag. I've used all of these accessories and they're actually really nice additions to the Solar Sparrow. Something unique they did with the Solar Sparrow is they offer it in a bunch of different colors. I was actually at a bike shop recently that happened to carry Euphree and they had all these colors lined up next to each other and it just looks awesome. They did such a nice job. Moving on to the City Robin X Plus that comes in at $20.99. You also get the battery bag, but they also include a lock as well as the rear rack bag and a stem bag. 4 different colors on this one. Again, just going to be a little bit heavier than the Solar Sparrow. And if you're looking for a bike that's going to do a little bit more of everything better than, say, a city electric bike, the Stellar Falcon is an amazing electric bike. They also include some higher quality components related to the tires on the Stellar Falcon, which I appreciate. And similar to the City Robin X Plus, you get the 4 included accessories, but you pay a little bit more for the off-road capability. The Stellar Falcon comes in at $22.49. And while it's not offered in a high step, you can get it in a mid step if you'd like, or what I would recommend, the full step through. Just why not have increased accessibility? So that's Euphoree's deal. I think here it has to be the Solar Sparrow. If you look for something that's a little bit lighter weight, that's a belt drive that still packs plenty of power. The Solar Sparrow competes really well. It's got the monoshock, comes with all the accessories. It's super comfortable to ride. Next we have Ride1Up, and they're calling this their Black Friday early access. So this is one where you might want to see what they currently have for sale, see if the bike you want is on sale, and then if it's not, maybe check back closer to Black Friday, maybe Cyber Monday. We'll see what they do here. So the Portola is their folding electric bike. It comes in at $995 for the 10.4 amp hour battery. You can step up to the 13.4 amp hour battery for just $100 more, which I think many people do. But what's cool here is they're including their touring package, which is actually something that I personally haven't seen yet from them. Suspension seat post, mirror, as well as a seat. The next bike that I have to talk about is the Prodigy V2. This is their mid-drive bike. It's using a Brose German engineered mid-drive motor. It looks super sleek. It's well equipped. If you've had your eye on an affordable mid-drive electric bike, this should definitely be on your list. You can actually see how it compares to some of its competition. And how do they do that? Well, they're mostly a direct-to-consumer brand. I also really appreciate that this bike has an air suspension fork. Note that it does come in a step-through, which is kind of a mid-step as well. And while it's not nearly as affordable, you can get the Belt CVT, which is going to be the mid-drive motor paired with belt-driven, but then an internally geared hub. So you kind of have like unlimited gears, if you will, but at $2,500, there's not much of a sale going on with that one. Since we're talking about the Prodigy V2, we should definitely talk about the Trail Rush, which is their purpose-built mid-drive electric mountain bike. It's a hardtail. This is one, if you're looking at the Rambless, you might want to look at some of the differences. And they actually knocked $100 off this price. So if you've kind of had your eye on an electric mountain bike, but the high price has kind of kept you away, definitely check out the Trail Rush at $100 off. It's an even better deal. Now let's talk about Ride1Up's moped style electric bikes, which they kind of branched off kind of in two different websites. They now kind of have a separate Rev1 that also crosses over with Ride1Up, but is more of a dedicated space for their moped style e-bikes. Maybe that's a sign of more things to come, we'll see. But these are some of what I feel like are the best value moped style e-bikes on the market. The DRT has to be my favorite. It's on sale for $22.95. It's just a cool e-bike. You have to see it in person to really appreciate it, in my opinion. But if you plan to stick exclusively to more street riding, definitely check out the full suspension version of the Rev1. Comes in at $20.95. All right, my pick here with Ride1Up, at least where their Black Friday sale currently stands, I think it has to be the Prodigy V2 for $18.95. There's just basically nothing on the market like it. And then of course, if you plan to do more off-roading, you might as well go with the Trail Rush and make it more of a dual purpose e-bike if you want it to be. All right, we're going to breeze through some of these other current sales, though that shouldn't diminish them. If you like belt drive electric bikes, you should certainly look at what Priority has to offer. And their bikes typically don't go on sale, so I think this is kind of a unique time to buy. Basically, the more you spend, the more you save. So if we're looking at the bike that I most recently reviewed from them, the Skyline, that comes in at $39.99. You can actually get that bike for $3,449 instead. It also has a pinion gearbox. If you don't know what that is, just check out our review. And if you're looking for something a little bit more budget-minded, that's still a belt drive, check out the Priority Current Plus model that they offer. They also offer great customer support, so if you're curious, give them a call. If you're into cargo electric bikes, you might want to check out Xtracycle. Their hopper is at the most affordable price I've seen it at $23.99. It's their first hub drive cargo electric bike. Xtracycle has been in the game forever. It's a reputable brand. And I think what's unique to them is they've just been doing cargo electric bikes for so long that it just shows, like their kickstand, some of their accessories, it's super unique. Some of those finer details that maybe you only notice as someone who already rides a cargo electric bike. We spent a great deal of time on their Swoop. That's a mid-drive cargo electric bike, though the price is quite a bit higher at $37.49. We should talk about Rad Power Bikes. They have actually been in the news recently, possibly being shut down. No one really knows. Perhaps they'll be saved. They had to kind of release a notice that they were going to lay off some of their employees. And unfortunately, this isn't the first time that they've laid off employees. They've certainly struggled a lot. And to be honest, it's a little surprising from a company that raised over $300 million. In fact, our first e-bike was a Rad Power Bike and we loved it. So I hope they stay in business. Let's see what they have for Black Friday right now. This might be one of those things where you might get a phenomenal deal on one of their electric bikes. But again, there's a little bit of uncertainty. So, just take that into consideration. The one worth pointing out here is the Rad Rover 6 Plus at $999. I mean, this bike has been out forever, but I think at the $1,000 price point, it is interesting, especially if Rad stays in business and you can get replacement parts. They have their Radster for $200 off. We've actually been riding the Radwagon 5 pretty significantly over the last couple of months, and they are including an accessory up to $200. Not a significant deal here. Their accessories are going to add up fast. Worth probably keeping an eye on what Rad Power Bikes does. It shouldn't be a surprise though that my favorite deal here is going to be the Rad Rover 6 Plus. Bikes that are $1,000 from brands that are at least as well known as Rad are rare. Next, Heybike, we've been reviewing some of their models more recently, and I think this is one to keep an eye on because even though they're so affordable, their motors are super powerful. You can just watch our video to see how powerful they are. Now, the Ranger and the Mars 3.0 aren't yet part of this deal, so I want to be clear, we haven't reviewed many of these models except for the Alpha, which is their mid-drive fat tire e-bike, which is $12.99, which is hard to believe. But I think what stands out here is their hauler for $10.99 for a cargo e-bike. That's a pretty good deal. I haven't ridden it myself, so you definitely want to check out some reviews on it. If you're looking for a city-oriented bike, they have the City Run at $1,000, and I think the deal that stood out here was the Hero. I didn't review this one, but it is their carbon fiber fat tire electric bike. It's still a beast and heavy, but it looks really cool. Or at least I think it does. Let me know in the comment section if you agree on that one. This is a last minute addition with 10 ways. If you want a mid-drive e-bike, check out the Aygo X. It's just $18.99, Bifang mid-drive, Shimano 10-speed drivetrain. They also have their Seago 600 lightweight e-bike for $14.99, offered in belt or chain drive. If you're looking for something a little bit more comfortable but still lighter weight, the 10 ways Seago 800S is a belt drive e-bike that's sleek looking and is $16.99, though it does have a smaller 350 watt motor, so keep that in mind. Their newest model, the Wayfarer, is at pre-launch price and we should be reviewing it soon. The Aygo X though is for sure my pick here. Actually a surprising number of mid-drive e-bikes under $2,000 hitting the list this year. If our content has helped you with your purchase, please help us out. Remember those links down in the description. And remember, that's not all of the Black Friday sales. We are updating our Black Friday page almost daily. So if we see anything, that's where it's going to be posted. Thanks to Urtopia for sponsoring this video. And hey, if you find any other deals that I haven't talked about, let me know in the comment section, because then I will add those to our blog post. Happy shopping. I hope you get an amazing electric bike. Let me know which one you have your eye on or you actually buy down in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.